newsroom here on GHOne television. My name is Awisi Dede. Jange, let's take a look at our headlines this morning. And coming up, a special prosecutor clears former President John Dramani Mahama in Airbus scandal, attributing the former head of state as government official one from the scandal report. Also, governing NPP hits back at the NDC over claims of sole sourcing government contract to brother of Dr. Bawumia. Ghana misses out on last chance to get a medal in ongoing Paris Olympics Games as men's relay 4x100 team miss out from qualifying from the heat stage. And elsewhere in Nigeria, 7 Polish nationals arrested for allegedly flying Russian flags during protests. Details of these stories and many more coming up shortly. Stay with me. Thank you for choosing us this morning. The news is coming to you live from our Platinum studio here in Accra. My name is Awisi Dede. Let's do some election-related stories now. Well, on in election hub today, a government spokesperson on governance and security, Dr. Palgrave Boachidankwa, is accusing the NDC of attempting to tarnish the image of the NPP flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. The National Democratic Congress accused the NPP of unbridled corruption and inflated sole sourcing of projects to the detriment of Ghanaians. Well, during their regular Moment of Truth series, the National Communications Officer of the NDC, Sami Jenfi, called out the Vice President for supervising inflated sole sourcing contracts, especially for the Sinyane Airport Rehabilitation Project and the Cocoa Road Improvement Program Phase 2 project.
At the heart of the thriving phenomenon of corruption is the issue of dubious and overpriced sole-sourced contracts, which has become a norm under the corrupt Akufo-Addo Bawumia government. This canker of overpriced sole-sourced contracts is causing the nation to lose billions of cedis, which could have been invested in productive ventures to create opportunities and prosperity for all Ghanaians. This is a sad situation our dear nation presently finds herself. As we speak, sole sourcing has become the norm and the most preferred method of procurement for several dubious contracts awarded to relatives and cronies of the Vice President Alhaji Bawumia. A number of sleazy and overpriced sole source contracts have been awarded to a company called Resource Access Limited, a company owned and run by Bawumia's blood brother called Abraham Bawumia and his wife Kaminska Bawumia. First on the list of sleazy, dubious, overpriced contracts awarded to this company is a contract awarded for phase 1 of the rehabilitation of the Sinyane Airport project. at a cost of a whopping 52.25 million Ghana cedis. For emphasis, ladies and gentlemen, this GHOne contract was doled out to Bawomia's brother through sole sourcing in the year 2019 without any transparent or competitive process. Apart from the overpriced Sunyani Airport Phase 1 rehabilitation project, 2 GHOne Cocoa Road projects were also awarded to Bawomia's brother's company.
Let's now hear from government spokesperson on governance and security, Palgrave Wache-Dankwa, who discredited assertions by the NDC that the NPP flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, so sourced the renovation contract of the Sunyani Airport to his brother's company at a cost of 52 million Ghana cedis.
There are many companies in this country. Ghanaian citizens have a right to be able to own companies. The Registrar General is there for people to register and own companies and do business in Ghana, to be able to develop the country and to be able to also make sure that they have a livelihood in Ghana. And I think that the continual posture of the opposition party that if you are related to people in government, you don't have an opportunity to do business in Ghana.
So, Kumasi, I beg your pardon.
Just in closing, okay. I cannot confirm if this company that you're mentioning it belongs to the brother or the cousin or the relative of the vice president. But what I can say very clearly on record is that the vice president has clear mandate by the constitution, very clear mandate from President Nana Akufo-Addo, and one of that is not to give contracts out through sole sourcing or through competitive bidding. There's an agency that does that through PPA, that does, and it's very clear. If people want to find out, our government has put together RTI, people can go and request for it and find out the truth of this matter.
Well, minutes ago, the Office of the Special Prosecutor cleared a former President John Dramani Mahama in its investigations into the Airbus scandal. Well, the Special Prosecutor, in an address to the press, says it found no evidence that bribes were paid to brother of the former President, Samuel Adam Mahama, and that such bribes were transferred to John Mahama in the purchase of 3 Airbus military aircraft. My colleague, Ibrahim Al-Hassan, is on Zoom with the very latest. He was at the presser and he joins us on Zoom for more. Ibrahim, I mean, the OSP has vindicated the former president. What else do we know about it?
Well, what we know is that the former president, John Dramani Mahama, has been officially identified as the one referenced as government official 1 or individual 1 in the report that emanated from, first of all, the UK and the US relative to activities of Airbus in countries that they do business, attempting to bribe individuals and then to facilitate their business. Now, aside that, we are also aware that the former president was invited by the special prosecutor early this year for some interview or as part of the investigations. Now, aside that, the brother to the former president, that's Samuel Adam Mahama, was equally invited. And other individuals who were linked to the Airbus scandal were all invited or interviewed one way or the other. Now, after it was all said and done, the conclusion that has been arrived at by the special prosecutor is that, first of all, there were 2 expectations. Expectations on the part of the individuals mentioned relative to the sale of the 3 Airbus military aircraft from Ghana. They were expecting to be paid legitimately and that they had undertaken the business for Airbus, either as agents or whatever dealings that they were engaging. They were expecting the legitimate payment. Now, from the perspective of officials of the Airbus, they flagged those payments as bribes. And so the OSP says it has found no evidence whatsoever that bribes were paid, first to the individual 5, or who is the brother to the former president John Dramani Mahama, Samuel Adam Mahama, and all the other associates that he dealt with. Now, again, no money was paid to John Dramani Mahama, the former president of the land. And of course, there is a note here from the submission of the special prosecutor that, yes, indeed, the former president had genuine intentions in getting directly involved in the deal, and that's to get the aircraft for the Ghana's military or for the country. But he should have known that the involvement of his brother will raise eyebrows. And here I'm putting the OSP. But of course, that is not a crime. He only points out the fact that the involvement of the president in a deal that equally involved the brother who had dealings with Airbus in the past should have raised an eyebrow. And finally, Dede, this morning, the special prosecutor is informing us that he's asked for the red alert, the Interpol red alert that was placed on Samuel Mahama and the other individuals mentioned in the report should be withdrawn. No prosecution whatsoever will be brought against the individuals mentioned, including the former president. This case, in essence, has been closed. The submissions of the special prosecutor, Kisi Ejaben. Dede.
So you had our parliamentary affairs correspondent, Ibrahim Al-Hassan, giving us updates of the press briefing that just ended a while ago on the OSP clearing the name of former President John Dramani Mahama on the Airbus scandal. But Ernest Owusu-Bempah initiated processes for these investigations to take place in the first place. And he joins us on Zoom, for a conversation. Ernest, many thanks for choosing us this afternoon. We want to find out, I mean, you petitioned the OSP. What do you make of the OSP stance on this particular matter? Hello, Ernest, are you on the line, please? Okay, we're trying to reach Ernest. We understand he is the communications director for Ghana Gas, and he petitioned the OSP to investigate the Airbus scandal. We're trying to reach him on phone for the very latest. But away from that, let's do some court-related issues, because a police truck full of marijuana and cocaine has arrived at the beach behind the Independence Square in the company of CID operatives to be destroyed. These substances have been brought to be destroyed upon court orders, while persons in possession of them have been convicted and sentenced variously. Officials from NAPCOP, court registrars and police are currently at the scene for this particular exercise. EIB Network Legal Affairs correspondent Mutala Inusa is on Zoom to give us what is happening there. Mutala, if you can hear me, what more can you say on this particular matter?
Well, Awisi Dede, like you rightly indicated, we are currently here at the beach. Pardon me for the moment, because the situation is so windy. So that is how come the voice will be such a way. But what is clear is that officials from NACOP, court officials, the registrar of the circuit court precisely, police officers have all gathered here. And behind me, you could see clearly the sacks of compressed material said to be marijuana, some of them being cocaine, heroin, and other stuff that have been an issue of court order for them to be destroyed. As we speak, the truck that offloaded these substances here have gone back to bring more. We are being told that over 200 sacks of these marijuana are to be burnt. In fact, I have also been given a list which comprised of over 400 slabs of cocaine, I beg your pardon, of marijuana. Then there's a bit of cocaine that was also particularly, the registrar informed me that is much more particular about that one because he has to make sure that whatever orders of the court is being to be dealt with is done so that it doesn't turn out to become an issue. So he brought that particular substance by himself. But as we speak, we are waiting for the rest of the sacks by way of the police truck coming back to offload whatever substances that ought to be offloaded before the burning starts. So what is clear is that this thing is happening. It took place between the years of 2021 to 2024. So that is the time frame within which these substances have been gathered, for which reason the courts have ordered that they be destroyed. So we are here currently at the beach just behind the Independence Square for that exercise to take place. But some more of the sacks could be regarding this marijuana is being brought, for which reason, after which it will be subjected to burning.
What is happening currently. But away from that, let's do some human-related issues now. Some residents of Glife and Shiabu in Yablikuman West Municipality are relying on hope for government intervention to free them from the continual invasion of their homes by tidal waves. Most of the residents have had their homes constantly submerged by water as a result of the waves, forcing some to relocate, and those without money to rent new homes have resorted to patching with relatives and friends. Lambent Lamte was at the area and filed this report.
Atamami is one of the many residents here at Shiabu who lost their homes to tidal waves. Others, who have been rendered homeless, now have to patch with family and friends, while others have been forced to relocate to other parts of Accra.
You say, baby, almost to a view or behind them to 2 echo. They are not see them crowd house to crowd or to call the bushman fee, a bloom of choco and a basic density here. The sort of Budano, the decided to come on Krumu choco. And I'm not Hanada. The way how crowd here, Dana is Sahina, near the papa, Nina, Chilebubu, and then probably to attitude him. It's never now by my now, yes, my name way.
A lot of families have vacated because their homes, their rooms, their houses have been destroyed.
With cracked walls and no money to relocate to other places, some of the affected residents are forced to continue living here. According to the residents, their plight worsened due to the incomplete construction of the sea defense wall in the area.
First year, if we buy me kayaton, so if we buy me kayaton, no me to fire ye be. We not be kayaton. She need abamamo to ye be a yani it baba. I been na a share ku te na ba fie sagete hu kaya. Una kete hu kaya wa na idole. She need a fie te ku ye. No any insure ke a fie na kante e yo kaya iku be e peje en kenya. Una be fite je en kenya. No te any na fie no you are we I
said, so this is a higher no, a pro adjoining tia so. HSA, and so we put down in no, about 4 side the ball of a good and Surano, I say, near the papa, toilet or more toilets or Porano, only ball of a woman and more film go. And the city person there was say, I buy him now, or more here, my. Now, I do maybe no nice, acquire how baby at my.
For these residents here at Glife and Shiabu, hope for the government's intervention is all they are depending on now for their safety.
You're still watching Newsroom here on GHOne TV. We'll be back after this break. You're welcome from the break. This is still Newsroom here on GHOne Television. The director of the Institute of Islamic Studies, Dr. Mohammed Sani Hussein Ninche, is appealing to the government and civil society organizations to help improve school facilities in Zongo communities. Despite the government's commitment in prioritizing education, the institute insists the government and other stakeholders must also support deprived schools in the Zongo communities. Dr. Mohammed Sani Hussein spoke to GHOne News.
In fact, it means a lot for a student to appreciate where he's coming from. and come and do something back to the school is something that must be appreciated. And we have appreciated it very, 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 very well because it sends another signal to the students that yes, I also can do something someday. So they will also do their best, and then when they become something, they will not forget their school. So what these people have done is a lesson to this student that we are having today. That tomorrow, when you also get something, you don't need to forget where you are coming from. So we build upon that, and then we grow. We want them together. We want them together. I think we have started an initiative of bringing them together on one platform, so that they will be contributing to the school. We need a lot. As I said, I want to renovate the school, our whole school. I cannot do it. I don't have money. I have the thinking, the whatever. They have to come and make it a reality. So when they come together, we'll be able to do something bit by bit. By the end of the day, we will complete the renovation. The school will be like something new. This is my vision. This is what I want us to go together. So I'm calling upon them wherever they are. When they hear me and see that this is my vision, this is what I want to do. And we've started bit by bit, inshallah, and we'll do something.
The Institute for Economic Affairs, IEA, says it will hold presidential debates in October and November 2024. Two presidential debates will be held in both Kumasi and Accra for flag bearers selected based on electoral criteria to be set by the Institute. Well, this debate will provide candidates the opportunities to articulate their policies and also point out their weaknesses in the policies and programs of their opponents. The director of the research at IEA, Dr. GHOne addressed the briefing in Accra.
What we did was to announce our intentions, to organize the presidential debates this year, as we have done in previous, elections. Of course, whilst we put out the announcement, we were still engaging with the political parties and their candidates. But of course, that process takes time. So you cannot wait until you have engaged fully with everybody. We have a timetable to meet. So that's why we came out to announce our intention to organize a debate. Of course, we all saw the reaction from the NDC. Apparently, because our announcement followed the vice president's call, the current vice president, call for a debate with the NDC candidate, somehow the NDC suggested that we were doing the bidding of the MPP. But we issued a rejoinder, denying this and saying that we were following our own program. So if it followed the vice president's call, it was just a mere coincidence. But we must say that since then, we have been engaging with them on the quiet. We don't have to do everything in the media space. We've been engaging with them, and we are hoping that all of them will participate. That is our hope.
Well, speaking at the same meeting, the former Chief Justice Sophia Kufu said the Institute will ensure the debate is credible and not to favor any political party.
Throughout the history of these pre-election debates, IEA only plays the role of an honest broker. The IEA is completely devoid of any partisanship in whatever it organizes, in all the work it does, and particularly with this series, with these series that we have been doing since 2000. IEA is a forum, provides the opportunity, sets the stage, sets the questions, and whoever is invited to participate, if they choose to participate, is going to get a fair shake. It was rather sad that such an accusation should even be thrown at IEA, and that's what I simply want to add.
Let's do some business stories now. And in business, a former president, John Dramani Mahama, has accused the Akufo-Addo-led government of running down the country's cocoa value chain due to economic mismanagement. According to him, the sector, which is a major part of Ghana's economy, is facing severe challenges due to the burden of overborrowing and servicing oversized government expenditure. Addressing journalists in the Upper East region after a 4-day campaign tour, John Dramani Mahama indicated that the NDC government will declare a national emergency to revive the sector.
The reason for the crisis in which we are is that this government overborrowed, spent more than it was earning, and in addition, our traditional sources of income, they mismanaged. And so you have a situation where you're spending more, you're borrowing more, and yet the hen that lays the golden eggs, you're killing it, and so the golden eggs are not coming. And so what happens is the cocoa sector has collapsed completely. Cocoa sector in syndication used to bring 2 billion fresh cedis into the economy every year. This year, we hardly were able to borrow even 800 million. And so that is a traditional source that has held this economy since Gordon Gisberg's time. They have come and mismanaged it. Produce buying company has collapsed. They are selling their assets. I've signaled that we're going to declare an emergency in the cocoa sector to boost up production as soon as possible. We should be able to do that in 1 season or 2 seasons. We should be able to bring cocoa back by giving the farmers an attractive price, providing them with the inputs so that they can increase their production, so that we can export more cocoa, bringing new technology, grafting, small-scale irrigation schemes, so that when the weather is very dry, the farmers can use boreholes to water the cocoa to reduce the stress on the trees. These are all things that we'll do.
A leading retail supermarket chain, Malcolm Ghana, has donated 25 medical refrigerators to 25 hospitals across the country. According to the company, this gesture aligns with its social corporate responsibility to make positive impact on the Ghanaians who form its major customer base. There is more in this report.
Concerned about the health needs of its teeming customers, Malcolm Ghana has donated 25 medical refrigerators to hospitals across the country, targeting rural communities. Group Director of Communications at Malcolm, Godwin Avenogbo, stressed the importance of assisting the health sector.
It takes interest in supporting any institutions. That's how we give help to society. The concentration today is on medical fridges meant to preserve at a very good temperature vaccines and blood. You know, we have been engaged in blood donation for many years now. And at this year's World Blood Donor Day, we received the second prize for an outstanding job done.
Speaking at the donation, Chief Executive Officer of the National Blood Bank Services, Shirley Osu Ofori, appealed to the general public to voluntarily avail themselves for blood donation drive to help bridge the gaps in the country's blood supply.
We don't have enough voluntary blood donors. We need the blood donors to come out in their numbers, and as a country, we need 330,000 voluntary donors. We may have something in the range of 200,000, but they are all not voluntary blood donors. And if we have 330,000 donors, we would meet the needs of the country. Blood would be available to be tested and screened and provided to patients in need. So that for me is our biggest challenge.
Malcolm was honored by the National Blood Bank Services for placing second among companies through its immense contribution to the nation's blood drive campaign. Established in 1989 with a single store in Accra, Malcolm now boasts over 66 stores across the country, including the ultra-modern Malcolm Mall on the Spinters Road.
And that'll be all for Business on Newsroom. Well, on GHOne, Ghanaian gospel artist Francis Kofi, popularly known as Pastor Kofi, has praised the gospel industry for its significant advancement in the production quality, lyrical innovation, and event hosting. During the launch of his high school campus evangelism initiative in Accra, the singer highlighted the substantial effort and creativity that gospel musicians have contributed in making the industry more appealing than in the past.
Following its successful implementation in 7 schools, gospel act Pastor Kofi is looking to expand his high school evangelism program to include tertiary institutions. Speaking to GHOne Entertainment, Pastor Kofi explains his source of inspiration.
First task given to us as the believers, go into the world and spread the gospel. You understand? That's the first task Christ gave to us. So that's the agenda. We are not interested in any other events, even though we've done events to raise funds to, hospitals. We supported hospitals and all those. We do those things. Those are things that we do. But the evangelism is like a baby to me. I don't joke with that event at all, because it's amazing when you meet these young ones, worshiping with them, and they are in tears, and it's so amazing. It tells you that God is moving mightily, and we have to grab them at their tender age before they get to our age.
The headmistress of Lashibi Senior High School and a beneficiary of Pastor Kofi's ministry, encouraged other school principals to welcome his ministry into their schools.
I'll encourage my colleagues, because I believe that godliness is all about education. Once God takes a seat, discipline comes in and performance is improved. And so let us all support this agenda.
He also commended his fellow gospel artists for revitalizing the industry, making it more appealing to younger audiences, and calls for support from various stakeholders.
The gospel industry has been, when we talk about percentage-wise, I should give them 90%. Production, choice of songs, lyrics, content, the way they are projecting themselves. It's amazing. It's amazing. And gospel music is going, Ghana gospel music is going very, very, very high. Unlike the days.
The high school campus evangelism event is scheduled to take place on November 3rd at the Oil Dome in Accra, with the theme Ghana's Praise Experience. Launched in 2014 by Pastor Kofi in partnership with Royal House Chapel, the high school campus evangelism program aims to spread the gospel through music in senior high schools and vocational institutions nationwide.
And that brings us to the end of the bulletin here on GHOne Television. My name is Awisi Dede. Do have a wonderful afternoon.